Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my High Plains Life. I'm Danielle, your host, and it is April 17th, tax day here in America. So I hope everybody stateside has yours filed. And this is episode 40. Yay, finally broke 40. Let's see. It's been 17 days since my last podcast. So I'm trying to stick to the 2-week time frame, but sometimes I get busy. Or sometimes I have absolutely nothing to do at all. And I just can't get motivated. Depression sucks. Okay. There might be some slight banging or thumping. If you can hear it, I don't know if it'll be picked up or not. One of our shutters is apparently slightly loose. And it is so windy here today, and it's been thumping. The tree looks like the Whomping Willow. My dog has found a pillow to lay on. Thank God it's not, my knitting. She doesn't like the wind either. And I'll talk more about that later because it's affecting my gardening. Okay, so on to what's on the needles. I have no FOs this week. I did block my silver cardigan that I showed you as an FO last week. Now it is finished because it is blocked, photos are taken, and it is put up on my Ravelry project page. But I'll just give you one last little photo of it, or shot of it, since it's been blocked. Isn't that cute? Oh, I have to add buttons. Oh, I guess I'm not finished. I completely forgot about the buttons. See, it was a good thing I showed you guys after all. There's a comb. What are those little holes for? Buttons. Okay. I lied. I do have one FO. And this is after being blocked also. Just need to trim some of the ends. This is my smocked cotton dishcloth. It's very soft. It's a Pima cotton and or a washcloth. Not a dishcloth, a washcloth. And it's cute. I don't think I'll do another one. The pattern was interesting, but I just don't see myself washing my face with it. So, there we go. I do have several works in progress. These, as I pull things out, left and right. No, I'm not finished with my Supergirl socks for my niece yet. They've gotten a little longer, but apparently my sock mojo has left me after that little stretch I had because I just don't feel like working on them because I am having so much fun knitting on my Runa. Da-da-da. Like I said before, okay, so it's a paid for pattern. I'll show you the picture. It's got a hood. It's called flying wing stitch pattern on the upper half and then seed stitch on the bottom half. It has a hood, and I think I'm going to do afterthought pockets, like behind on the inside so that the seed stitch stays at the front. I don't know if I can cut in an afterthought pocket in seed stitch or not, but I have a swatch and I'll give it a shot. My pattern's all marked up for my size. Cast on. Having so much fun stitching it. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, I showed you my problem already. Let me show you guys. Can you see the color line? The difference in the color? Lighter here, and then boom, skeins switch, and it's a darker shade up here. Yeah. This is Malabrigo Rios. It is what I would consider more commercial batch dye than hand dyed, because it is done in larger dye lots. All my yarn is the same dye lot. I laid all the skeins out next to each other. Everything looked exactly alike, same shade, in daylight. Wasn't worried about alternating skeins. Apparently I should have. And apparently I started with the lightest one. Thank God it's on the bottom. I'm not ripping it out. I will live with it. Hopefully it doesn't get noticed that much on the bottom. I am feathering in the remaining skeins. I've already started my third skein and I feathered in a row, and you can't even tell. So again, I think maybe just that one skein was the odd one. It's so short is because that's the skein I did my swatches with, and I did significant swatching, so that took up a lot of yardage. Let's see. So this is my first lateral braid ever. It's called a Vickel braid in the pattern. You look it up on YouTube and it's a Latvian braid, Vickel braid, lateral braid. They all appear to be the exact same thing. Very easy for a very pretty design element. I liked it. I'm loving the seed stitch. I thought it would drive me crazy, and it does go slower. I knit continental, so it's not as hard. I hold the yarn in my left hand. I think this is kind of backwards, my recording view. I hold the yarn in my left hand and I tension it with that finger and then hold the yarn over my pointer finger. So so when I'm purling, I purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. So it's not as difficult as throwing the yarn with my right hand would be, I think, time-wise. I get into a rhythm. It's very soothing. I love the way it looks. The texture is gorgeous. It's going to be a lot heavier cardigan than I thought it was going to be, though, because I can already like feel that yardage is piling up. I think it's going to block beautifully. I'm using my Happy Sheep stitch marker. Yay! What else about this? Other than my concern about running out of yarn, because I only have 1,900 yards and I'm knitting the largest size, and it's seed stitch. I don't care, I'm going forward with it. We'll see. I may end up without a hood, even though that's what I loved. Okay, so that is my Runa by Gudrun Johnston in Malabrigo Rios in the lettuce colorway. The varying shaded skeins. It's in my mustache bag by the Beatty Sisters. Oh, that's upside down. This was actually one of the first project bags I ever got. I haul it around everywhere. It's just plain cotton. I throw it on the floor. It sits in cafes. And it's held up admirably. And I've thrown it in the wash once. And it's come out completely fine. I love it. It's got a pocket in the middle so it divides the two and sides. And it's got a zipper in it. Can you see? Yay! Okay. So that's my Runa. I have also pulled out, I know it's been a while, don't freak out, I know, it's my Celestarium. This is in my Frog Off Designs project bag. And holy charts, Batman. I love this little chart holder. It was a lot of money, but it's really cute. I have magnets tracking my progress. Ooh, I am on chart F3, row 132. See all the little beads I've got ready to go. I can't take this anywhere. That's kind of why it's been in unwilling hibernation. I didn't intentionally mean to stop knitting on it. It's just between the traveling and going to knit group and wanting a mindless, almost nearly mindless knit. The Celestarium is not that. Simply, it's not difficult. It's not hard at all. It's not even really a lace pattern. There's yarn over every now and then. But that's the thing, is all the counts are different and you have to pay attention every section, every row. And it's still just a giant bag. Big sack. But I've got so many more rows on it. I've got so many more stars in it. Look at all my beads. I'm so excited. I did. So I sat down the last couple days and I've put quite a few rows on it. I am 64.6% complete at this point. Yes, I'm a geek with a progress spreadsheet. And let's see. I only have 576 stitches per round at the moment. And I think, and well, until I get to the edging, that's all I'll have. So there are other patterns that have more, obviously, but this feels like a lot more just because you're counting all the way around. So lots of stitches. I'm loving the knit. Get excited every time I get to put on a new star. Very exciting. I like the yarn. I hate the stellina. There is a lot of, I've said this before, there's a lot of stellina in here. Do you see all that silver? And I thought, oh, that'd be pretty for the night sky. And it is, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to knit with. You can feel it on your hands because the content is high enough. And having a dog, when I see a little white, gray, silver thread on the shawl, I don't know if it's dog hair or stellina, so I end up pulling out stellina when I think it's dog hair. Ah, trials and tribulations of a fur baby mom. Okay. That is my Celestarium. I know it doesn't look like much right now. Big blue bag. Big blue ball sack. Yeah. But I have been very excited about knitting on it again. I did start it last year just before the eclipse, and I think it would be nice to finish sometime. Yeah. Okay. That is all except for my prayer shawl, and I have been working on that, but again, it's a garter stitch triangle. Look at my project page. It's not very exciting. I have been stocking nothing. I have been very excited about the knits I currently have on the needles. I haven't felt the urge to cast on anything new since what I have is already still fresh, and stocking Ravelry not required. Even though everybody's been trying to enable between the Fading Point by Hohi Locatelli and there's so many beautiful patterns coming out now. I just walk around with my eyes and my ears closed going na 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 na. Someday. Someday soon, but not now. I do have acquisitions to show you. No yarn, but what else? Fabric! I went to the quilt shop to pick up the patterns from the months I missed of the Prairie Woman Sewing Circle. And of course I had to buy some fabric that just jumped out and bit me. So I bought these beautiful greens. One is a Joe Morton print and the other one is just an Andover reproduction print. I can't remember who by. So it's these two beautiful green. Aren't they gorgeous? I love them. Loving them. So I'll use those in my patterns for this year, throw them in with my reproduction fabrics, and start cutting them up. And then I got some blues. I couldn't resist. Look how pretty these are. Blue speckles. Can you see the pattern on that blue? Maybe not. It's a dark blue with a black print, so it's very subtle. And it's not, but it reminds me of the wallpaper in Sherlock Holmes. So that's kind of why I couldn't resist. Okay, so those are my acquisitions. I do have some spinning. I have my BFL that I hand dyed. I must have used food coloring versus acid dyes because I think I did blue and orange, intending Broncos colors, but my blue is very faded. Spun the singles quite a while ago. Let them rest. And just plied it this last week. I gave it a soak and a thwack and let it dry. And I think it's very well balanced. It's pretty good. I have a whopping 82 yards. Oops. Yeah, that's not enough to really do anything with. So I don't know. I'll probably just combine it with something, but it was an interesting experiment. Always like spinning BFL. And it was fun. So some of it, yeah, you can tell, got kind of fuzzy and I was a lot thicker spinning, but then I think it evened out some. So not bad. Like I said, I spun the singles a while ago. And yeah, so not great. I've also been spinning some alpaca on a spindle. And this is, let me find the end. Oh well. This is what the alpaca looks like. It's called cappuccino. It's a blend of two different alpacas, a brown and a dark brown. I know the names of the alpacas and they are on my project page. And I got this 2-3 years ago. I bought from them before and it had been processed beautifully and it was a joy to spin. So I bought more from the same ranch the next year. They'd changed processors. Can you see the veggie matter? Oops. Yeah, there's like little bits of hay all throughout this. Of course, that would be the only two. So there's, yeah, bits of hay throughout it that slows me down because I have to take time to pick it out. But it's not bad. I'm spinning fairly consistently. This is a very cheap spindle. I got it on Etsy. I got 4 for like 20 bucks. And I got these for when I used to docent at Rockledge Ranch, which is a living history city park. And I wanted something that kids coming through could use and wasn't worried about them breaking, dropping, stepping on it, whatever. I didn't want to use a good spindle. So I just bought something cheap. And it actually is one of my favorite spinners because it's very well balanced. So who knew? Okay, so going slowly, but having fun spinning some alpaca. Additionally, our knitting group, Spinners with Altitude, I know, spinners for a knitting group, most of us spin too though, is doing a fiber swap on the 28th. Those of us who are interested can each bring 2 ounces of any fiber we want, dyed, undyed, anything. And I chose to bring a soy silk. And I know there's glare from the plastic bag, but this is actually really shiny. There, that's probably pretty good. It's very shiny and soft. I did some studying up on spinning soy silk, and there seems to be 2 trains of thought. It's either really slick and slippery, or it's sticky and is difficult to draft. Okay, so basically it seemed like the best consensus was to blend it with something else for the best spin. And this will give, like the wool or whatever you're blending it with, a little sheen. Yay! Okay, so that's all I have for fiber under the needle. I have gotten some sewing done. I am slowly catching up with my projects for the Prairie Women's Sewing Circle. I told you I went and picked up the patterns, and so I thought I'd start with March's, so I'm kind of skipping February, but I want to come back to it because it's a log cabin variation and I love log cabin block. So February's is kind of a 4-patch and with a square and a square. There's 16 blocks that go into making this small wall hanging. This is going to be my binding. And these are my 16 blocks. And yes, I have them labeled. Lighting. Because they go in a specific order. And I guess I should have labeled the backs so you could actually see my blocks. But there's one blue print through each of the 4 patches and then varying pink prints and varying backgrounds of shirting fabrics. So the combination of pinks and the backgrounds, you need to keep them in a specific order or it ends up too matchy-matchy. Let me fix this lighting. And if you can see, I'm not going to show them all, but get an idea. It's a lot of fun doing these blocks. It was one of the most time-consuming means of doing 4-patch block, because normally you can just do 2 strips and whack them, flip them, and stitch them all together. But because these were all different pink fabrics, you had to do it square by square. Time consuming, but the effort is really adorable. And I showed this a long time ago, and I have been stitching the binding down by hand for a year. It's been put away. Like I started stitching down the binding and then just tossed it to the side, put it in my cedar chest, forgot about it. Pulled it out again the other day, and I'm like, why didn't I finish this? Sat down with the needle and thread, whipped it out in an hour. So I want to show you my fully finished and bound table runner. And again, I love reproduction prints. So I showed this all to you after I'd had it quilted, I do believe. Yay! My lighting is going psycho. I showed it to you after I had it quilted, and maybe the binding sewn to the front, but it is finished, finished, finished! And now it's going on my coffee table, where it belongs. Okay, sorry, I'm just kind of excited about that. I am also compiling scraps that I am sending to another podcaster who wants to begin quilting, and I am having trouble determining what to send because fabric is heavy. It starts adding up pretty quick, and I don't want the postage to be more than what the fabric is worth. So I've got this so far. She likes blues and naturals, so she's gonna get a bunch. Yeah, and there's more. I have more that I want to send. So I think I'm gonna do a flat rate shipping postage and just stuff as much as I can into the box. So, and it turns out I have way more scraps than I realized. And by scraps, I mean like a fat eighth, less than an eighth of a yard of fabric, maybe a quarter yard. What are you doing, Willow? What are you doing? Chasing sunbeams, Mom. Okay, so that's it for Under the Needle. In the garden, it is still snowing. Everything's melted off today, but as I stated, the wind has been howling. It blew so hard, it blew a panel of our fence down last Friday, including some other individual boards. So, needless to say, I don't feel like going outside and doing yard work when the wind is raging. So, again, on hiatus. The rhubarb is up and growing. Only thing in the garden, and of course, it's rhubarb. I've actually made my first strawberry rhubarb cobbler, and Brandon and I enjoyed that. And that's it for in the garden. In the bee yard, I've been slowly cleaning my equipment up and getting things ready. I don't have an exact date yet for when my bee packages should be here other than mid-May, but my check has been cashed, so I'm just waiting on the call, waiting on the info. Off topic. Willow went to the groomers, got her hair cut, and it promptly snowed. Of course. So then I feel bad because she doesn't act cold, but I'm like, oh my God, she must be freezing. Oh well. It's like washing your car in the summer and then boom, of course it's gonna rain. Get your dog groomed. I've been knitting along with the Batter Up Cal with the Innis Knit podcast and just hanging out in that chat group and seeing what everybody's doing. Boston Jen of Down Cellar Studio is getting ready to start her Splash Pad Party Cal June 1st, I believe. I'm not sure, but there are sponsors, so go check out the prizes, and most of the sponsors offer discounts, so go check out her Ravelry group. I haven't really been watching any new podcasts. I've tried looking at the YouTube recommendations, like up at a podcast I'm already subscribed to and look at what they're watching, getting ideas there, but there hasn't really been anything I've liked. Either that or I'm already subscribed to it. So I'm running out of podcasts to watch, people. Send me some suggestions. See, that's about all I got. So you can find me as Danny Girl Co. on Ravelry, Instagram, and Periscope, although I'm not on there much. And show notes can be found at www.myhighplainslife.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.